Hey folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Thursday, March 13th. And also an unusual state of affairs for the offseason. Expecting to talk to some of the Steelers' newest Steelers today. I'm not quite sure who's going to be there yet. No, I don't expect Aaron Rodgers to be there. That deal is not yet done. We're still waiting for him to get off the beach and stop wistfully staring at the sunset and make a decision. But today I want to talk about the general state of feeling about Steelers fans. And try to do this tactfully, probably get flamed for most of it. Every bad take I see about the Steelers on the internet is based in fear. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? They're not going to get a quarterback. They're not. This guy's too old. What if he gets hurt? Oh, not. He's only 1 year option. Now they're going to have to do it again. They'll never be able to replace him next year. Like, all of these bad takes I see are all based in, like, what if the worst case scenario happens? What if, you know, and like most of the time, the worst case scenario isn't even appreciably worse than what people are thinking the best case scenario is. Gardner Minshew is not that much worse than Justin Fields. And if Gardner Minshew is cheap, he's probably better than Justin Fields. It doesn't matter. Like, none of these guys are good. None of the options are available at quarterback are good. Are there worst case scenarios that are actually plausible? Yeah, sure. Like, there are. But they're not worth worrying about. And I think the lack of the fear has stemmed from this sudden lack of confidence in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, somehow this is like this clown show organization that doesn't know what it's doing. And like, that could not be farther from the facts. Do Pittsburgh Steelers fans have a right to be frustrated with the state of affairs? Absolutely. Being in the same spot year after year is frustrating, even if that same spot is very good. And that's the situation the Steelers are in. But don't confuse rightful frustration with being in the same spot with incompetence, especially when the spot you got to is really hard to get to. There are 20 NFL teams that would love to be where the Steelers were last year right now. And look, the Steelers are rebuilding. They're not saying it, but they're doing it. And the fact that their franchise quarterback, who they won 2 Super Bowls with and went to another, and if you want to argue they should have won more with him, I'm not going to argue against you. I think they should have too. But their franchise quarterback retired 3 years ago. And in the intermediate 3 years, they've made the playoffs twice. Who else is doing that? That is like that's like 95th percentile outcome coming out of that situation. The only team I think has done better than them is the Packers. And you know what? They won a Super Bowl with Jordan Love, and they didn't win as many with Rodgers as the Steelers won with Ben. So, like, okay, like, maybe that's a little bit like, do I feel better about the Packers' chances in 25 than the Steelers? Yeah. But if you're naming one team out of 32 that has done it better, you're probably in pretty good shape. And we've talked about already how the Steelers are going to get that quarterback again. It's a really good draft class next year. The draft is in Pittsburgh. You don't need to tank to get a good quarterback. In fact, tanking has almost never been successful in the NFL. Almost never. Teams that draft quarterbacks highly that have success either were a good team that just happened to be bad, or were a team that was bad for years and years and years and accumulated piles and piles of top 5 draft picks, top 10 draft picks. That's the only way. You can't, this is not hockey. You can't go down for 1 year, get Sidney Crosby, and come back up. Well, that's not what the Penguins did either. They did it pretty well. They were bad for about 4 or 5 years. But like, that's where you're headed if you go down that road. 4 or 5 years of bad. And why? Why do it? When there's a better way, you can stay relevant. I mean, if you're under the age of 40 You never seen the Steelers play an irrelevant football game in your life. Like, you know how good you have it. And like, yeah, I'm not scolding you for being disappointed with the state of affairs. But like I said, don't confuse the current state of affairs with incompetence. Omar Khan is a really good general manager. Mike Tomlin is a really good head coach. And he's especially good head coach when it comes to scouting talent. Um, if you want to complain about Mike Tomlin, the clock management, sure, I'm on your side. Like the sort of strange fascination with role players that probably shouldn't get as much money or playing time as they do. Yeah, I'm totally on board. I hated the Malik Harrison signing, by the way, for that reason. $10 million for guys mostly going to play special teams. I don't like it. But the big picture is good. And so just relax. Ignore those worst case scenarios, those thoughts that are creeping up in the back of your head that lead you to put really bad takes on my timeline on Twitter. Because they're probably not going to happen because this team is pretty good at this. Pretty good. I didn't say great. I didn't say elite. They're not the best, but they're pretty good. You should not go through your day assuming the worst case scenario about what's going to happen to the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they get Aaron Rodgers, that'll be fine. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, that'll be fine too. Nothing bad is going to happen. That no matter what happens in the next month, we're going to be talking about the Steelers in the playoff race. I almost guarantee it. That's all I got. Going to hopefully talk to some players and also, some other stuff. So stay tuned here on the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Whole bunch of new subscribers over the last couple days. So welcome to our strange, fun family. Leave some comments, especially if you're new. I'd like to hear how you found us and all that. And questions. Of course, we always want questions for episodes of Morning Rush and Steelers Afternoon Drive. Got a good one about comp picks, but I needed to be in front of my computer to answer that one. So maybe we'll go with that tomorrow. That's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you on the afternoon drive.